You can be thin and still have deadly fat growing silently inside your body right now. Not the fat you can pinch, not the fat you can see. The fat that's wrapped around your heart, your liver, and your organs. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you changes everything. Most people think belly fat is just about how they look in the mirror. They try to hide it under clothes, suck it in for photos, and promise themselves they'll deal with it later. There are two completely different types of belly fat, and only one of them is truly dangerous. Visceral fat lives deep inside your abdominal cavity, wrapped around your liver, your kidneys, your intestines, and your heart. You cannot see it. You cannot feel it from the outside, but it is there. And it is quietly dismantling your health from the inside out. A major international study found that 1 in 5 adults worldwide had a completely normal body weight, but dangerous amounts of visceral belly fat. The scale is lying to you, and your belly is trying to tell you the truth. Visceral fat is not passive. It is metabolically active tissue. Think of it like a rogue organ that your body never asked for. It produces its own hormones. It releases its own chemicals directly into your bloodstream. And most of those chemicals are inflammatory, meaning they trigger a slow burning fire inside your body. Visceral fat releases substances that cause your artery walls to thicken and stiffen. Women with high visceral fat face double the risk of heart disease. People carrying excess belly fat triple their chances of developing dementia, including Alzheimer's. Visceral fat is directly connected to your liver. The fat cells dump toxic byproducts directly into the portal vein, straight into your liver. Over time, your liver starts storing that fat itself. This is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it affects millions of people who barely drink. A large belly is almost always a signal that your liver is already under stress. Visceral fat disrupts insulin, the hormone that controls your blood sugar. When its inflammatory chemicals flood your system, your cells begin to ignore insulin's signal. High insulin means the fat storage switch is permanently stuck in the on position. This is the reason so many people can't lose belly fat no matter how hard they try. It's not willpower. It's not laziness. It's a hormonal trap, and visceral fat built it. Chronic inflammation produced by visceral fat crosses into the brain. It impairs the growth of new brain cells. It disrupts memory, focus, and mood regulation. Research now links high visceral fat directly to faster brain aging and higher rates of depression and anxiety. The inflammatory molecules produced by visceral fat have been linked to at least 13 types of cancer. The chronic inflammation creates an environment where cancer cells thrive. Belly fat is not a cosmetic problem. It is a medical emergency in slow motion. And the longer it stays, the more damage it does. Now here is the good news. Unlike fat in your arms or thighs, visceral fat is actually the first fat your body burns when you make the right changes. Your body recognizes it as dangerous, and given the right conditions, it will prioritize getting rid of it. The most powerful way to lower insulin is to reduce refined carbohydrates and sugar. Bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, fruit juice. Every time you eat them, insulin surges and fat burning stops. When you cut those foods down, insulin falls, and your body finally has permission to burn that stored belly fat. After about 12 hours without food, your liver runs out of stored glucose. Your body has no choice but to switch to fat. Growth hormone surges. At 18 hours, autophagy begins. Your body starts cleaning out damaged cells and recycling them. The longer this metabolic state is maintained, the more visceral fat your body burns. Since visceral fat is inflammation, the foods you eat either fight it or feed it. Foods that fight it: leafy greens, fatty fish, olive oil, avocados, walnuts, eggs, cruciferous vegetables. Foods that feed it: sugar, seed oils, processed carbohydrates, and alcohol. Eat real food. The closer to its natural form, the better. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and visceral fat cells have more cortisol receptors than any other fat in your body. When cortisol stays high from chronic stress, poor sleep, or overtraining, your body actively directs fat storage to your belly. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It is one of the most powerful fat-burning tools you have. You do not need to spend hours on a treadmill. Research is clear that resistance training combined with short bursts of higher intensity movement produces measurable reductions in visceral fat within weeks. The goal is not to punish your body. It is to signal to it that muscle is worth keeping and fat is not.
Let me bring this all together into a simple starting plan you can begin today. Week 1. One change only. Remove sugar and refined carbohydrates. Just this single change will begin lowering insulin and unlocking your fat stores. Week 2. Add the fasting window. First meal at noon, last meal by 8 p.m. Drink water, black coffee, or green tea during your fasting hours. Week 3. Add movement. 30 minutes of walking most days. 2 resistance sessions per week. Nothing extreme, just consistent. Week 4. Protect your sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours. Reduce screens an hour before bed. Keep your room cool and dark. This single habit accelerates everything else you are doing. Visceral fat is not just belly fat. It is an active, inflammatory organ that your body never asked for. But it is also the first fat to go when you make the right changes. Lower your insulin. Use a fasting window. Eat real food. Protect your sleep. Move with intention. You now know more about belly fat than most people will ever know. The only question is what you do with that information starting today. If this gave you a clearer picture of why belly fat is so much more than a cosmetic issue, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to know exactly what happens inside your body during the first 24 hours of fasting, that video is coming up next. See you there. Please like and subscribe to the Weight Loss Compass. Thank you.